Hi, my name is Micah Donnelly, and today I'll be doing an interview with Erik Erikson. So who actually is Erik Erikson? So he is a German-American developmental psychologist. He was influenced by Freud, and also, little fun fact, he was a part of Anna Freud's class. So he was taught by her, which is Freud's daughter. Erik Erikson looked a lot into psychosocial developmental theory. So we're looking at infancy through adulthood. Looking at this picture, I just have a couple of pictures just to show who he kind of is and the power of development he has on society today. Looking at how Erikson has pushed through into his theory, he observed cultural and social influences, also taking a lot off of Freud and his biological drives, and he really took the difference between them and noticed that Freud looked at biological drives and Erikson really looked at identity and social relationships that played a huge role in development. So we looked a lot at growth for identity and even that growth going into adulthood. Looking at the huge picture of the core ideas of this developmental theory. So we're looking at age stages, like I said, infancy to maturity, and we're looking at the conflict of each and how it builds and strengthens personalities. So in this slide, we're going to look a lot into each of the stages. Now, I won't read verbatim exactly what is on all of these, but I will say that with each of these stages, they build on one another. Infancy to early childhood, preschool to school age, adolescence to young adult, and middle to maturity. These all play a crucial role into how people develop into who they are today, and also their sense of trust and building that development throughout their lifestyle into adulthood and who they are. Looking at building behavior from this theory, the best example I can give is the infancy trust versus mistrust. So for trust, we're looking at a lot of how a child develops early in life and how they're more likely to form healthy relationships later on versus that mistrust, which is an early unresolved conflict that can possibly cause harm and unresolved confusion that may continue into adulthood, and we don't want that. Tying into the difference between these two, so I've noticed a lot with Freud, that's the psychodevelopment, we have oral, anal, phallic, latent, and genital. So looking at all of those, we're seeing that it ends mostly in childhood versus Erikson's, which goes more into identity and into relationships throughout the lifespan. And we notice that Freud's is more in the first 5 years of life rather than throughout the entire lifespan. So that's like almost the pinpoint difference. Diving into how this applies to me, I had a lot of childhood trauma that kind of made me who I am today, and it really benefits me for the good and for the better. I know back in high school I had a lot of bullying, I never fit in. College was the exact same way. I didn't fit in with anybody, and I can really correlate this with Erikson's theories because, going from the adolescent stage and going on up, I've noticed a lot of these stages that he was talking about that I'm not gonna lie, I did hit. So it ties in a lot for me, and I hope to take this information and tie it on to my son as well. Jumping into strengths and limitations, so for strengths, we're looking at how easy it is to relate to each of these stages. Like I just said in the last slide, how I related a lot to this, versus the limitations into how everyone in this world is different from one another. Not everyone is going to experience the same thing. I have a quote here talking about how identity is essential for further development, and we know that during this critical stage, everyone is going to be different. All right, getting into the relevancy of today, we're looking at identity struggles, we're looking at social media, social pressures. Those are the most important things that happen in today's society regarding stages and development. We depend a lot on acceptance in certain areas, and we also like it when we fit in. And unfortunately, everyone is different, like I stated, so we can't really pinpoint where somebody's going to be at an exact point in their life. So just understand that everyone is different, and social media is not the way to go. In conclusion, the lifespan of development for Erik Erikson was an amazing thing to do a little bit of research on, and identity is so important when talking about somebody's personality. You have to understand that their personality shapes their identity. So making those social relationships and helping help that shape growth and building them relationships with friends, whether it be intimately with a significant other or not, but all of this really helps us base on who everyone is and the complete difference in everybody and how unique everybody is. Thank you for watching my presentation. These are my references.